Back to our phone lines. Of course, this is Limit Break Radio Spectacular Annual Platinum Extravaganza Edition Call-In Bonanza Special Volume 3. And we're going to go back to our phone lines and talk to Tamtu. Oh my God, it's Tamtu!
What's up?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Tamtu, dude, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm A-okay. Like I saw Nika write a post about that stream she did where she left XI. I was like, oh,
It's a little. That was a little feelsy. That was a little feelsy.
A little feelsy. It was a lot feelsy.
Yeah.
Why are you feeling Vicky?
Don't do that. Anyway,
Rude.
I can do that. We used to host a show together.
We did.
that's right. Yes, he says, she says.
So
Did
well,
you
hold on.
know? I just went to the URL. I dropped the domain ages ago. Now it's owned by two Australians who met on Tinder and post about their favorite eating spots.
Are
Really?
you serious?
So it's not
I
much
kid
different?
you not. He says-she says.com.
Wow. That's pretty hilarious.
That is really funny.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, no, I knew you
crazy,
had
right?
dropped the domain because all of our links back to your page were broken, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Now they're
Every
not.
so often, though, I get a notification that the He Says, She Says Facebook page gets a new
I
view or a
know.
new like, and I'm like, what is going on?
I get that. I had the other day like 5 new people liked Voices of Vanadil, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, guys, I totally get that too. People like Vanadil voices all the time. I get that, yeah.
So,
Does
Tom,
no one like Simply Juxta? Does that not happen for you?
I did not have a Facebook page, thank you very much.
he was above having a Facebook page.
Yeah.
He
So,
was just an intern.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. Why would he have a Facebook page? So, Tamtu, when was the last time you logged into FF11?
I think it was when Rhapsodies of Vanadil was
Wrapped up.
around.
Yeah.
And I logged in for a little bit trying to get stuff done, but I just couldn't do anything because I was so far out of it. I could not remember anything. I had no macros. I forgot how to load the macros. I was too lazy to look up how to do it.
So you
God,
didn't.
it's like playing with Vicky.
So you didn't.
Hey,
So you didn't get very far.
No, not at all. I might jump back in because why not?
I sort of feel like I do need to finish it before they close it down. You know what I mean? Like we're running down the clock on this one. There can't be much
Especially
more.
how they say that, this is like the story ending of the
Well, it very
game. It's
clearly
like,
is.
sure.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah,
It is a very definitive end.
Yeah,
to the
there's
game.
nothing. There's really nothing else that you can do after that. I mean, granted, I haven't done it, but I've seen enough of it where I'm like, yeah, that's pretty final.
It's the end.
It's the final
Yeah,
fantasy.
which
so
is
it's a
good.
bucket list thing for me.
No, I do think, I do think that that's good. But it's interesting that an MMO chose to do that because MMOs don't have to do that. They can just keep releasing content forever and ever and ever. And it's an interesting and
World of Warcraft.
and I got to say, kind of a bold choice to say, no, this is the end.
Well, and usually when a game gets to the point where they know it's not going to be financially viable, they don't put a ton more development into it to end the story. They just say, no, there's not going to be another one, and they let it go by the wayside. Square Enix
Which
taking
is
the
the
time.
saddest.
It is
I think
so
the
sad.
saddest way to send your game off. This feels like an appropriate send off. Like
Yes.
Rhapsodies
Totally.
really felt like they were putting a bow on the game, and I think with a game that has as long of a history as this one does, and is as well remembered and beloved as it is among those that played it, that you have to do that. You have to do that in order to do right by your community.
I like that how they're keeping it open for people who that might be interested in wrapping up that story, so they can keep coming back, or they can go back and do it. Unlike a catastrophe event like they did in 1.0 for 14, where there was like your last chance at doing it, or with Star Wars Galaxy, where they ended the game with like this huge brawl between the light side and dark side or whatever.
Yeah, and again, like I think that is a way better way to do it. Like if it was a cataclysmic event, it would, I think, feel a little bit too much like FF14 1.0.
Oh, yeah.
And
the Rhapsodies had a potential for a cataclysmic event, though. They really could have just been like, okay, all this shit in the future comes to pass, your character dies, and you can no longer log in. The end!
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Go away.
Yeah.
We're done
here.
I would write so many angry letters to SE. I don't know what I would do if that's how they ended. I'd lose my mind.
But I wonder though, like when the servers do finally go down, if they will add some final hurrah event, or if they'll just be like, well, complete the story. Your character's story has been wrapped up. The end. Servers down.
I'm afraid that once they finally figure out how far they get the mobile version or like the rebirth version of 11, like if they are happy with that, they might decide to just quit 11 altogether and just say, no, if you want to experience the story of 11, play this version.
Yeah, it's possible. I think that would be sad though. I would be really bummed out if FF11 as it exists right now was just in no way, shape, or form playable, that the servers were just down. But the thing is that you've got private servers now.
Yep.
And granted, they are a bit on the gray area for legality because they are very easily shut down. They're very commonly shut down. But there's really no question that the developers know about these, and some of them, like they do for a lot of other ancillary game media, will just kind of turn their head and kind of let it go.
Right.
And let it continue. And I think that at the point, if there was no official FF11 servers, that Square Enix probably would just
look the other way.
Yeah, but I mean, as for this server, how long it's going to last, the overhead costs.
Oh, it's got to be what, a fucking iMac at this point?
Yeah,
Jesus.
Well, I mean, the overhead costs of running 11 at this point are a skeleton crew who are doing development work, and power and keeping the computer running.
Yeah,
it's so minimal.
The $7 a month.
Yeah, like how many users do you actually need to sustain 11 as it is? Not many.
I would say.
Yeah, and there's quite a few thousand people that still play, so they're still quite profitable.
Yeah. No, I mean, it does make its money, and that's why I think it shouldn't go anywhere. And I mean, older games that still have the subscription model. And by the way, we're going to be getting into this on Final Encountercast.
Yes.
We're going to get kind of deep into this on Final Encountercast, but the games that have kept the subscription model, which are fewer and fewer and fewer as time goes on, are old games that I think, Eskalia, you kind of hit on something that is pretty observant, that they're probably very, very low overhead to run. We're talking about Ultima Online. We're talking about Dark Age of Camelot.
Yep.
And you only need a couple thousand players giving every month, paying every month, to be able to really just zero out on that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it'll get even cheaper as time goes on because eventually they will pull the plug on doing changes in devs for the game, and then you probably got one part-time guy who oversees 11 at that point.
Right,
and that's all you have to pay.
He's taking all the GM complaints. They just left GM Dave. That's it. GM Dave gets to run all of FF11. I'd actually be okay with this.
Dude, you're going to Jormungand a lot, but now you can solo him, so it doesn't matter when he sends you there.
Did we ever get a real confirmation if that was just purely parody, or if he really was a GM?
I'm gonna say that he was probably a parody.
But he could have been an actual GM that didn't the stories were fake.
I think he was a real GM posting what he wants to do to people.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd love to do some internet detective work and find out who exactly that guy was.
Don't ruin the magic for yourselves.
But there were so many good Final Fantasy 11 blogs.
Oh yeah, dude, and just funny, goofy videos. What were we watching?
As Vanadil turns, we watched it before the show started.
Yep. There was, there were other so many goofy projects.
There was a comic that went on every week. That was. Oh, God.
You mean our webcomic? We had a webcomic. It wasn't every week, but we had a webcomic.
It was a weekly webcomic. It was this human. I remember the Gulka's name was Lord Wampastompy. That's what I remember about it. And it was just their ongoing adventures. There were so many good community-driven things in 11. For as small as it was, sizably.
They were a fantastic resource for me for that lore episode.
Yeah. Akiyumi Sensei in the chat says VG Cats. Remember,
Yeah.
First of all,
about VG
that
Cats.
was sponsored, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But maybe the first one wasn't. But They did end up bringing the guy who did VG Cats out to one of the Fan Fest. Yeah, that was really cool. But yeah, I mean, like when FF11 would kind of leak over into, you know, like a webcomic that we would read, or, you know, that was always, I always loved seeing that because, again, FF11 was so kind of rare.
Yeah. When it appeared,
especially compared to WoW.
It appeared in real life comics one day, and my brain almost melted out of my ears when I saw it, because he's literally sitting at his computer playing, and it's just got like little text bubbles coming out of the computer saying what he's seeing. It's like he's like, finally, Yotor Jungle, I'm out of the first one, and it's just like a Goblin Smithy sees you. Goblin Smithy whacks you over the head for 9 bajillion points of damage. You're hella dead. You lose 20 billion XP. Level down.
Oh my god, yeah.
And he just sits there cursing at his computer. Like, it's so true.
Yep. Oh yeah. Level Up, Fred Perry. I remember. That was a great webcomic. Yeah. Great webcomic. In fact,
we cameoed in that.
Yes, we did. A couple of. I think I cameoed twice. I'm not sure how many times you appeared, Tamtu, but
it was the FanFest one.
Yeah. So, oh my God, so many good memories. Tamtu, what's your favorite LBR memory?
My favorite LBR memory.
Yeah.
Let's talk about ourselves.
Yeah, because that's what's important.
Just actually finding out about it, and what I liked the most about LBR at the time was that you were in character,
right?
And that's what eventually led to He Says She Says, and just the whole vibe of LBR, being in character and just playing around, that we were in Norg, that we had interns and people were trying to find out where we are. Interacting with other characters, it was a way of role playing that was just way cooler than just text-based role playing, and all the information. But if I had to pick a memory, was that one time I recorded an episode in the closet.
Oh yeah, okay, all right, I remember that. It
was super late because of my dumbass time zone, and I went into the closet to minimize the sound.
Oh my
literally
God.
Broadcasting out of a closet.
Literally out of the closet, yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's so weird thinking back on like the restrictions that we had back then.
Oh yeah.
And all of us, like, you obviously were the most put together. You had a lot of connections and stuff to get better equipment.
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Better than the rest of us were. Okay. When I started VOV, we had one microphone that we all huddled around in a spare bedroom.
Well, the only equipment that I had, initially was a couple of stage mics that I had left over from a band and a PA head.
Oh my God.
That I used as a mixer. Which, I mean, I quickly figured out, all right, I got to get a real mixer. But yeah, that's what had started. And the mic cables were 100 feet long. Which, if you know anything about mic cables, the longer the cable is, the more noise it adds to your signal. So the first couple of episodes they must sound like dog dick.
They totally do.
They have to sound terrible.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
You're taking a picture of Wally.
Oh, yeah. That, so,
what?
Okay. Yeah, the you don't remember that?
No.
Okay, all right. So Wally was our first intern. He was never actually in the studio. Yeah. He was a friend of ours, and we only really used him as an intern in name, but he would post on our forums too. Yeah. So there was a character that sort of went along with it. But that moment when I had quote unquote taken the picture of him, so we used to record the show in the basement of the dorm room that we were in, and right next door was the bathroom. And so I think I had to get up and use the bathroom, and I was like, I should do a bit, coming back in. And what we were going to do is we were going to take a picture inside the bathroom of the stall with the door closed, and then we were gonna Photoshop 2 Gulka feet at the toilet like he was taking a shit. The image never materialized, but the bit did, and that was basically it. He was never in the room. I just ran around the room twice and then pretended like I locked him out. Yeah. That was a lot of those bits, a lot of those were setups.
Yeah, just make believe.
Oh yeah, complete
theater of the mind,
suspension of disbelief. The Limit Break Theater, that was also a really fun thing where we had. I mean, Kahlo had even written that. Like we wrote that, performed it, and put sound effects to it.
Yep.
It was that was a lot of fun to produce. I mean, that was just really like the idea for that was to create a radio play using Final Fantasy 11 as the setting. So
Sneak is wearing.
We should do something like that again.
yeah, except it's I mean, like if I had a program that could excerpt every single sound effect from FF14, that might be possible, but I don't think that exists. I mean, Altana
There's no
viewer.
Altana viewer.
Yeah. We need an Altana. We need an Eorzea viewer.
We need if someone out there has got just a big collection of all the sound bites from
Sound
11 or
effects.
14, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I was actually looking for something like for a model viewer recently, just for cosplay purposes. I'm like, I just need a way that I can pull up a character and spin them around. Why does this not exist?
Yeah.
But I think that the game is coded differently, and it's probably not so easy to just rip the file out.
Yeah. I mean, it was really simple with FF11.
All the
So
mods.
yeah, I mean, it's possible, but I sort of feel like it
needs to be easy
so
to
much
use.
work. Yeah, that's the
Lightweight.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if the sound effect is disambiguated from what I'm seeing, I don't know what the fuck that is. Like, sound effect it sounds like anything, especially if it's like magic casting. I don't necessarily know that I know what fire versus blizzard being casted sounds like in FF14, right? So I don't know that I would even know the difference, but
That's true. 11 sound effects were all very iconic.
they were, and very identifiable as well. Well, Tamtu, man, it was awesome hearing from you, and
course.
we appreciate you calling up and reminiscing about FF11. Call up again, man. If you ever feel the desire to, express some thoughts on FF14, you're always welcome on the show, man.
Yeah, sure, man. And of course, you guys, thank LBR in general for making my Final Fantasy 11 experience so much more fun back then.
Oh, thanks, man.
It really drove my desire to play, and it was just fun listening to the podcasts on the way back from work every day. And being part of it was like fantastic too. It helped me develop a lot of certain editing skills and just apply some PR and marketing stuff on our stuff too. So that was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for shaping a lot of my creativity.
Oh, thanks, man. That's very nice of you to say, and thank you for contributing so graciously to the LBR network, of which we never really compensated anyone for, and we would have loved to, but that
Labor.
yeah, exactly. Really I think on all fronts, LBR for a long time was just a pure labor of love for all those involved. And Tamtu, you were always among the most talented people that we ever had the chance to work with and that had ever discovered the show. And we were so thrilled. The first thing that I remember ever getting from you was the parody, the Christmas parody.
song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which I still think was hysterical, and you did such an amazing job on it. And I'm really glad that we got to work with you and that you've continued working in games media. So congratulations to you, and
thanks.
Good luck, man. Good luck on everything moving forward.
You too.
All right. Well, if you want to,
Miss you guys.
we miss you, Tamtu. Tamtu. Again, if you